touched on this a little bit. What are the positives and negatives of running your own small business? So we've sort of like looked at like the comparison culture, how that's like quite bad, and like the negative side of social media. But what are the main positives and negatives, like the main ones?
So I think positives are definitely that I fucking love it. Like, I
love
really like, it's something that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'd be able to do it if I didn't love it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
at least not for a long period of time.
No, like I look forward to doing an illustration.
Oh.
And do you know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy doing it. It's like a little creative outlet, because although like I have got a job in the creative industry, it's not as creative as it might sound. There's a lot of admin. There's a lot of like, do you know what I mean?
Not as hands-on.
It's not as it's not as hands-on as it may sound. It's still creative, which I love, but I love sitting down and then looking at something and being like, I made that.
Oh, there's no better feeling.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. We've spoken over the past sort of year or so, like on and off. Like, you kind of make like friends, don't you?
But then we're friends.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but you make your little internet friends, don't you? Like, do you remember when you asked me if I wanted that card reader?
Oh yeah.
And my friend, so you know Kyle, who brought with me, he was like, so like, who's this girl? I was like, she's my Instagram friend.
Oh yeah, can I just plug this, right? So basically, I signed up like over a year ago to be a sum up card reader seller, and they gave me 3 for free to sell. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to sell them. Like, so I started messaging people. And I was like, oh, Charlie, I think I asked Roxanne, but she'd already had one. And I was like, just have them for free, because when they get activated, I get 30 quid. I haven't even had a look yet. But you're the only person I've given one to. So I'd messaged Charlie, and then we met up while I was eating. I think, where was I?
It was on Edge Street.
Yeah, I was outside.
Outside Home Sweet Home.
Yeah, it was when everyone had to sit outside.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, are you Laura? And I was like, oh, yeah. Like,
here's the card reader. And I was like, I came over and I was like, because I knew you were Laura, obviously. Because I knew exactly what you fucking looked like. And I came over and I was like, hi. And you, Laura, and you were like, oh, can I give you a hug? And I was like, absolutely.
I feel like it's all about consent,
and then Kyle was like, oh, Instagram friends.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely a plus side of it. I'm quite lucky in that my like group of friends that I have from like uni, we're all quite creative. So like one of my best friends is a fashion designer.
Love it.
Another one works in influencer marketing. 2 of them are graphic designers. Like, and one of them like works in social media. We're a creative group of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're surrounded by like-minded people.
Yeah, but none of them are illustrators. And none of them like sell anything.
Yeah.
So like you can't really share stories, and like there's very niche things that piss you off. That it's nice to be able to like, do you know what I mean? This is very niche, and like I'll sometimes complain.
Rant about posting something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? So that's a real plus side of it.
Yeah.
Plus side is that I get to work with like some really cool brands. I've been really lucky to say that I've worked with like some sick brands. Like, do you know what I mean? That I've been
love it. Yeah.
That I've been like, I can't believe I've been approached by these brands. Like, who the fuck who works there follows me? Do you know what I mean? So that's obviously a massive plus side. I think a downside would, and I don't like, I'm almost a little bit reluctant to say this because I don't want anyone listening who might be thinking of like starting out, I don't want this to like put them off, but like I never really struggled with mental health before I did this. And now I really do. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
In what aspect?
Yeah.
What do you
So
think that are?
I don't know, because I don't necessarily know if it's a direct...
Because it could have been like a pandemic as well.
Exactly. But like, I've always been like quite confident in myself. I don't know, like I've always just been like quite self-confident. And I feel like we've kind of discussed about the comparison culture, I now find myself really comparing myself to like every other person.
It isn't nice, is it?
It's not nice. And I think I'm not really a massive user of social media outside of my illustrations, which is weird because I did work in social media for like 5 years.
Yeah. Maybe that's why.
But I think that is why, because when you work in it, then you don't really want to do it as a, do you know what I mean, like outside.
It's a bit like when you work in a chippy, you know, fish and chips.
So I was never really a massive user. I mean, people listening might like my boyfriend, I'd be like, she definitely was.
She's always on Instagram.
Yeah, always on Instagram, but I was never...
Yeah,
like, I never really subscribed to it, like...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, another, like, thing that has massively impacted mental health is that, but then also, really simple, I'm doing a lot more now and I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I am burning out. Like, there is sometimes when I have inboxes, I'm like, I don't have space right now.
Yeah.
To message back.
To reply to you.
Yeah.
And then it's a bit of a cycle because, like, I'll click on WhatsApp, I don't have any notifications on. So, like...
Oh, I don't.
No, like, I never get notifications. So I have to, like, click into WhatsApp to see if somebody's messaged me. WhatsApp is, I don't know about you, but WhatsApp is, like, a main trigger for me. I don't know what it is about WhatsApp, but, like, fuck me, I hate it. I want to delete it. I hate it.
I don't have
Is
that
that
many
because
friends.
of the...
So I started therapy earlier this year because I was struggling with anxiety.
Yeah.
I just felt like I don't remember the last time I felt calm. Do you know what I mean? Actually calm. I don't know. What's that? Who's that? Who's she?
Who is she?
Do you know what you need? You need a holiday.
Well, yeah, I know. So anyway, I started therapy and I was talking to my therapist and, like, I am really lucky that I have got an amazing group of friends. Like, genuinely, the people that I'm surrounded with, my boyfriend's amazing, my friends are incredible, my family, like, I genuinely, I am so lucky with the people that I'm surrounded with. They're just great people.
Yeah.
But I still feel anxious and I didn't know why. So, like, I'd go into like WhatsApp, for example, and there'd be, like a group chat, like, please never add me into a fucking group chat, I can't deal with them.
I know. You don't go on it for a day, 200 messages.
100 messages, and then you start feeling like, and then people will talk about plans that they've got, and it's like, oh, it was in the group chat, and you're like, I didn't see it. No, I'm not invited. Do you know what I mean? And then it kind of like becomes a bit of a cycle, and you feel like you can't. I don't know what it is.
I've never been in a group chat like with girls or like friends. I've never.
Very jealous, but then again, like,
I don't know. Like, I've never. We've had this conversation before. Like, I find it very hard to make friends and to keep them because I find I'm one of those people. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm one of those people. As soon as I feel like I need to protect my energy from you, you're gone. Like, I can't deal with it.
I think that is good.
I cut you off. Like, I now pretend that I've never known you before in my life.
We better watch out, Charlie.
The thing is,
but I think it was because I was I weren't finding friends for the right reason. I was finding friends because I felt like everybody was telling me that I needed friends.
Yeah.
No, I've never been in a group chat, and the thought of it makes me anxious.
Honestly,
like, I'm in like a family group chat.
My messages. No. 65 unread.
I don't even have the badges turned on.
Do you not?
No, turn them off. I've not even got WhatsApp on my home screen, so I've got to swipe and search it.
I really like that.
I hate it. I hate notifications. If I could get a Nokia 3310, absolutely I would. But, like,
it's too much pressure, isn't it?
Too much pressure. I can't deal with it. Like, I just can't deal with it. Like, I don't know what it is. It's only really been over the sort of past few years. Because I used to be, like, such a consumer of social media, and I used to be like, oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And now, over the past few years, I'm like, oh, fuck this. Like,
I see social media in a different light now since it being a business for me.
Yeah.
Like, Max says this all the time. Like, it's like, oh, you're on. That's my boyfriend. It was like, you're on social media, but like, that's you working. Like, you don't ingest social media the same way I do. So when I'm on social media, I'm like, right, let's see what trends are going on. So I'm never just like aimlessly scrolling. I'm like, oh, that's a trend, right? Let's save that sound, and oh, let's do this. Oh, what are they doing, and what are these doing? And it's like, oh, well, I'm replying to comments, I'm replying to DMs.
See, that's
and
probably
stuff.
why we get burnt out, because all of that, even though it doesn't seem like it, that's work.
Yeah.
So like, you're working all the time, and do you know why you probably like that with your messages? And I know I'm the same. You're just overwhelmed.
Yeah, I
You're
do.
overstimulated, like when my cat gets stroked too much. We're being stroked too much.
Yeah.
You've got too many things going on, too many hands stroking your back.
Yeah.
That's a weird. I'm so sorry.
I I loved it though. I mean,
I did not love that.
You set the vibe.
You're right,
You're
though.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and you can't. That's you trying to take control of
Yeah.
like. No, I'm eliminating that from my life. I don't want to see the notifications because that's one less thing to feel overwhelmed by.
Yeah.
You only have so much space in your
Yeah.
brain, and if you have work and then you was doing social media, but now you've got this whole other side
Yeah.
of business, and then it's kind of encroaching into that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
there's only so much space that you can
Humans
cope
are
with
not
them.
built like that. We're not.
Humans aren't built
We're
for
not supposed.
capitalism.
No, we're not supposed to. That's not how we're supposed to live our lives. Like,
No.
at the risk of like going on a massive tangent of like, do you know what I mean? Of like
Yeah.
how humans are supposed to live. That's not how we're supposed to live. Like, I can't remember what it was that I read recently, but it was about like basic primal human needs, and they are rest, water, food. I think like interaction and community was one of them. And like I'm not perfect and I don't get it right every time, but I try to get that right first before anything's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I take anything else. So like
Yeah.
if I haven't had enough sleep, I'm not going out. Do you know what I mean?
That's your boundaries from
Yeah,
recruitment
that's-
coming through.
That's a boundary. So like I'm really like probably quite selfish in that
you need to.
if I don't want to do something, not a fucking chance you're gonna get me to do it. I need to stop swearing. So if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it.
I hate how
And
being selfish is like
but I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I'm really proud of it because as well, like I'm not selfish in a horrible way. Like I would never hurt anyone, but I'm going to be completely honest and say that I come before anyone else to me.
Yeah,
Of course I do.
You got to think about
I'm
it in
me.
this way. Like, would your friends would probably feel really terrible if they knew that you'd just gone out to please them and you didn't want to be there.
Exactly. I would never do that. Like I would never go somewhere unless it were like someone's wedding or something.
Yeah.
Like I would. Like I'd do that. But like I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do something that's going to make me feel like shit because
I love that.
I really.
Can't relate.
I'm a people pleaser, so I
I'm
can't
a
either.
people pleaser. I'm like, oh, you want me to do this? Yes, of course. A good cherry on top as well. I'm like Ned, you know, Ned Flanders when he's making the hot chocolate for Bart, and that's all the little extras. Like, that's me just with everybody. But I am learning to kind of set some boundaries now and be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Honestly,
wanna do
Hans,
that.
get yourself a year in recruitment.
Yeah. Charlie, you've inspired me more than you'll ever know.
Oh, thanks.
No, you actually have. I've learned so much
I've
so
learned
far.
so much so far.
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
feel like this episode's quite long. It's going to take me a while.
We're using this podcast episode to kind of grow as people as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guests on, we're like, please
I'm
help
like
us.
the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing?
Help us navigate through
No,
life.
but as well, like, I don't want to come across as preachy. Like, I am guilty of people pleasing as well. Like, I'm not 100% of the time, like.
I don't think anyone is.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
I don't think you can be 100%. It's not. The world's not black and white.
No,
like,
you never ever could. And like, there is things that I do for people that I don't really want to do, but I'll do it because you're my mate and you do it for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that's it.
Yeah. There's a balance.
Yeah, I was just going to say balance.
Yeah.
Took the words right out
Yeah,
of my
there's a
mouth.
balance, but yeah, I am quite precious now, especially since, because obviously I've kind of mentioned it. I went to therapy earlier in the year because I was really, really struggling. Like, I feel like I've known that I was going to need therapy since I was probably about 10. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always known. There's always been a little bit like, I've always been, there's stuff I need to talk about here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I've been fine. I have been fine, and it was only sort of came to a head in the summertime, and I don't know what it was that triggered it. I've absolutely no idea. It could
Could be anything.
could be anything.
Could be
no
nothing.
idea. But I felt like my life was falling apart. It was I remember walking into the spare room when my boyfriend was working in there. I was working in the kitchen, and I was like, I'd had like a minor inconvenience at work. Like,
Sometimes it literally can be anything.
yeah. And normally I'm like, oh, whatever, fine, I'll deal with that in a minute. I just started crying, and I walked into the spare room, and I was like, I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. Like,
Oh, Charlie.
and like, I do think it was a nervous breakdown, because I always think that nervous breakdowns are made out to be like, oh, well, she quit a job and she joined a convent and now, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But, and they're made out to be like a massive explosion, but that is what it felt like to me in my head, and like, it affected everything. Like, I couldn't look in the mirror, I hated myself, like, this
is breaking my heart.
No, but I don't, like, I can talk about it now because I have got through it, but I couldn't look in the mirror. Like, I hated my body, and this is going to sound a bit self-centered. Not self-centered, but the thing where I knew that something was wrong is I've always struggled with my body, right? So I've never looked in the mirror and been like, yeah, my body's amazing. And I hate that because that's something that's been ingrained in myself, but I've always struggled with that. But I've never felt ugly. Like, I've never looked at my face and been like, beautiful, but I've also never looked at my face and been like, you're an ugly bitch. Do you know what I mean? But I was looking at my face and I just felt, I hated myself. I hated everything about myself. And I've never felt like that. I've always liked myself.
Yeah, and that was you being like, oh shit.
That's how I knew.
Maybe this is your brain. That was your brain telling you, like, you need to do something now.
Yeah, like, honestly, everything. I didn't want to be around people. Like, you know, you say that you've struggled to make friends.
Yeah.
I've never had that problem, and I did then. Do you know what I mean? So, like, when I was in a room with people that I didn't know, I didn't want to be there because I didn't want to present myself like that to them, to these people that didn't know me.
Right.
Because I wasn't myself. I wasn't who I was, and I didn't want them to meet me in that stage of my life
and think that's her.
And think, do you know what I mean? Even though I probably wasn't acting that different.
Yeah. It's just the way that you felt, really.
Everything. Just literally everything. Like, I was crying all the time. Just everything, just like plummeted. So I went to therapy and I was talking about anxiety and talking about, like...
Sorry to interrupt, did you go to the NHS?
No, I paid for it. So
was it like more counselling?
Yeah. So, and again, I'm aware that in itself is a huge privilege.
We've spoken about this.
Yeah. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a fucking baller. But
it's worth
I needed therapy then and there.
Yeah.
And because I had the funds to be able to pay for it, I got it then and there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I know that that's not the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, most people.
Yeah. I know that that's not the case for most people, so I'm aware that that's like a massive privilege. Yeah. But so I paid for it and it's helped me no end. Like, I know that usually there's like a massive waiting list.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, I'm saying that I needed it then there, so do most people.
Yeah.
And they've got
that's okay. That doesn't invalidate how you...
No, I know that. But yeah, so I paid for it and I started just talking to her about, like, my anxieties, and it was very apparent that I was taking on, like, way more than I could chew.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how this relates to illustrations, to be honest.
It was the downside of...
the downside. And that was it. So when I was feeling like that, I didn't want to post anything, because if I posted an illustration when I was feeling like that, when I was in that stage, if it got like no likes, oh my god, I would have taken that so personally. Whereas now, if I post something and it gets like less likes, I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I was like, I'm shit at everything I do. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel a bit like that at the minute.
Yeah.
I do. I really relate. And I don't want to make this about me.
No.
But I had to call in sick yesterday and the day before for the pub at work because I just couldn't get out of the house.
It's so
I know,
shit.
it is shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know whether I'm taking on too much because I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever feel like that?
Yeah.
Even though you knew that you were taking on too much, you still felt like you weren't doing enough.
That whole fucking, and this is like, I'll speak about it again, but it's the whole fucking
Girl
babe,
boss.
hustle bitch fucking vibe, and it's like, oh, if I'm not fucking, I'll work until like my feet fall off, and I'll work until this, and
what kind of life is
if
that?
I'm sleeping, I'm not working hard enough, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, and I get that, like, we are making some strides into like equality, but who are you proving yourself to?
Yeah. Would you not just rather feel calm? Like, for me, feeling calm is like the holy grail of life. Like, that is what I strive towards.
I want my brain to be still.
I want to feel
for like
calm.
10 seconds just to not be having to think about things.
10
like,
million things.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking about things. I'm constantly thinking about work or like family stuff or like relationship stuff and money and stuff like this. And money doesn't solve all problems, but it fucking helps.
Though.
It helps.
If I won the lottery, oh my god! I mean, it wouldn't solve my depression.
Money doesn't solve
people
all
who
problems
say money isn't
a point of privilege.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
I grew up on a council estate. My mum and dad were on the dole for most of my young life.
Yeah, I've not necessarily come from the most privileged background in the world. So yeah, I completely understand. Like, it used to really fuck me off, to be honest. Like, I remember when I first moved to Manchester, right? When I graduated, this is hilarious. No, this is funny. Me and the girl that I moved here with, my friend, we moved into this flat. It was honestly the fucking shittest flat you've ever seen in your life. My bedroom was honestly like a box room. It could fit a bed in it. My wardrobe was in the front room. My drawers were in the front room. We didn't have a telly. Our freezer was in the front room. We didn't have a telly. We used to sit and do crafts. Because we couldn't afford a telly. And this was just after uni. I remember once we were like, should we get the train into town and look around? And we were like, oh, should we? Can we afford the train into town? We were honestly on our arses, skin. And like when I used to see stuff like, money doesn't make you happy, I remember I used to think like, it would definitely make me happy right now.
It would help.
It would definitely,
really help.
It would really, really help.
And in some cases, it actually directly makes you happy because, like, if you couldn't have afforded therapy this year,
100%,
you might not.
I'd probably
be
still be waiting.
You are now.
I would probably be still waiting on the NHS waiting list, and I'd still be feeling the same way, and I don't know where I'd be. Like, I genuinely don't know how I'd be feeling right now.